Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Book Brood, and welcome back to the latest edition of my category journey. We are on book number 8. Now, for book 8, this one was a bit of a cover buy. So let me tell you this story. I wanted to get some Desire in on my shelf here. So I was on the Harlequin website just kind of looking around at the Desire line, and I spotted a cover that just was fabulous. So it's kind of a cover buy, but then I read the synopsis too, and it's like corporate level, workplace, romance, second chance kind of thing. So that's like sold right there as well. So the book it is 1 Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera. I have an actual physical copy of this book, but so I'm not doing this all the time. I'll put the image up here. I have not contacted Adriana or in any kind of way. I have followed her Twitter, but it says on her Twitter, updates only, right after her name. Well, we'll see if she gets involved. If she doesn't, that's fine. I'm 100% okay with authors not getting involved with my hijinks. Like, honestly, I can't blame them at a certain level. So anyway, I am super excited about this book. Some of you guys on Twitter mentioned that you really loved this book. I just think everything in it sounds fabulous. So let's start talking about it. We start off with our heroine, Esmeralda, or Esme. She has an interesting family dynamic. So she was raised essentially by like 4 matriarchal figures. So her mother and 3 aunts, who are all fantastic. Like we get introduced to them in this big kind of powwow family support kind of thing. And, they're all different, but they've all got just this. They've all got personality to them. They're great. So hopefully a lot more of that group of ladies in this book here. So what's going on with Esme? Her biological father has recently passed, and he was the founder, majority shareholder, CEO of this television empire, and he left it to Esme, even though he really had nothing to do with her life at all. However, she is probably the most qualified to run the company, as she went to school for pretty much that exact same thing. She internally goes back and forth with herself of why she, did that for dad's approval. And anyway, you can all get to that when you read this yourself. So she has let this offer to be CEO just kind of sit on the table, and it's about to expire. So she's got about a week left, and she finally read the fine print, and she saw that her ex-lover is going to be the one that will take the position if she does not. So obviously that made the decision right there. I love that just heightened emotional state, just like, I kind of don't want to do this, but I should probably explain why she doesn't want to do this. And that is the central part to her character, I'm imagining, is she wants to do everything herself, and she has done everything for herself. She has really fought for her place and earned it herself. So she doesn't want to just be handed this empire, even though she could do great things with it. So that's why she was having difficulty deciding whether or not to take this awesome job. All right, so this is a fantastic start to a book. I mean, we can't even ask for more. Well, that's not true. We could throw like forced proximity, only one bed. Well, I guess we do kind of have a bit of enemies to lovers here, but that kind of plays in with second chance a lot of time. 50% of the time, second chance. I'm rambling. I'll check in after chapter 2. So everyone, I've just finished chapter 2, and this book is fabulous so far. This dynamic is wonderful. So juicy. So we have Rodrigo. He was the protege to Patricio, who's Esme's biological father, who owned this television corporation. And he was interim CEO, and today's the day that it's going to just go to him. He's going to be CEO. Esme's totally just decided not to take part in this. It's going to be his show now, and he's going to make this company his own. Well, Esme's a big rake in his path there that he's just about to step on. That handle's going to come smack in his face. It does for a bit, but he's holding his own. So right now we're in the boardroom with the whole board. The other side of Patricio's family, everyone's there, and Esme and Rodrigo are having the competition of who can stay the calmest, because both of them are firing on all cylinders. Not because of like anger or being upset. There is that, but they kind of both want to jump each other right now, like regardless if there's people in the room and everything. I'm excited for chapter 3. So I'll check in after that. and I might let you know a little bit of what happened there. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. I finished chapter 3, and so we had our boardroom confrontation thing, and it ended up not being too much between Esmeralda and Rodrigo, but actually more between Esmeralda and the widow of her biological father, who's on the board as well as his kids. But then also the board kind of laid out that it's like, oh yeah, you're CEO, but we have some conditions, and they essentially like gave her a presentation contest that Rodrigo is going to have to oversee, or she's going to have to go through everything she needs. She's going to have to go through him. So it could be just like a setup of like, oh, okay, awesome. Here's your participation trophy. You did great, but now move along, and and the grown-ups will take things from there, which she's not going to have that. Esmeralda cannot stand for that. And I won't stand for it either. One little thing is Rodrigo whispered something into her ear, which was, relevant to her figuring out a dynamic between two of the board members so that, she had that to her advantage. So he's not totally against her. He's not an enemy here, which, we've been in his head. We know he still has feelings for her, and she's the only woman he's ever loved. We'll have to see how this whole presentation project in a week goes. So hence 1 week to claim it all. So now that we've got our group project, hopefully our team can put in equal effort into getting that A. Hello, everyone. I've just finished chapters 4 and 5. In chapter 4, we had a moment between the two of them where it was that thing where they were getting all intense, with talking about non-sexy related things, but like in their brain, they're all thinking about the sexy things, and something almost happened, but they got interrupted. And I was a little surprised they even let the interruption stop them, because these two, both of them have fire coming out of their pants. It's like you can just see it, them walking down the halls. It's like, oh yeah, they got it bad. Not only are they a fire hazard for their office, they're holding back. Chapter 5, there's some kind of formal event coming up. And I mean, from this cover, there's got to be some kind of formal event, because seriously, that dress, get out of here. So that's coming up, and apparently Rodrigo's gonna pick Esmeralda's gown, because she doesn't have time for that. I hope that goes well. Lane usually doesn't wear anything I buy for them, so that's just my experience. So hopefully Rodrigo does better. He can afford to pay people that know what they're doing, so I think he'll do okay. But we did get some backstory here. So boy, if I haven't made it clear, these two, Rodrigo and Esmeralda, are ex-lovers. So it's been 10 years since they split up, and there was some drama with that. Let me tell you what, like, holy cow. These two have some work to do to get past their issues and all of that baggage that was Esmeralda's dad. It's gonna be tricky, but I think what happens between the sheets is going to be a good catalyst to keep these two together through through the rough parts, and then we can get to that HEA. I will check in after chapter 6 or wherever I decide to check in next, but as always, this book is fantastic. It's going well, and I'm excited to keep going. Hello, everyone. I've finished chapter 6 of 1 Week to Claim It All. This was an interaction. This was just a moment in the office. Esme's trying to fight going to this event, this formal event thing that's going on. So she's got this, trying to push this rack of clothes back into Rodrigo's office, and just puts themselves in close proximity again. And these two are a bomb, just ready to go off at any moment. And so anytime they get close to each other, it's just a bad idea. So they should either just deal with it, how we would suggest they deal with it, or I don't know, one of them just needs to give up. So, and I know which method you all would prefer, which would be my preferred method too. We're really getting a villain painted here, and that is Carmelina, Patricio's widow. So Esme's father's widow is really coming out as the bad guy here, and there's a very, very, you're not going to take this from me interaction that happened. The stakes are getting raised in the emotional game, in the corporate game, all of it. Now we just got to see. We got to see where it goes. So I will check in after a while. Hello, everyone. I've just finished chapter 8. This is at the event or something for the investors where they're just trying to impress everyone. Fancy dinner, dresses, cocktails, that sort of high class stuff there. We got a bit more of a look at the half siblings, so we got a bit of a sympathetic moment there for Perla. I like how in just a few sentences there, I'm like, is she gonna get a book? I will stay focused on this one. And then the half brother had a moment, let's just say, and then Rodrigo had a moment, and it's kind of just made Esme want to step back and refocus on getting things done, proving that she is right for CEO. And hell yeah, good for her. Put all this nonsense aside, even though it's hard. When her and Rodrigo are in close proximity, it's dangerous. Seems like things are speeding up here, so I will check in later. Hello, everyone. I finished chapter 10, and we got to the steam, and boy, were we ready for it. I tell you what, the build in this, like, you wanted this chapters ago. Desire, I mean, they might know what they're talking about, just naming the whole line. It's my first one, so I'll have to do more research and tell you how it goes. But bravo for Esme and Rodrigo. But the thing is, they're competing for a job that they both want. This complicates things just a little bit more, but I don't blame them. In fact, I encourage them to continue to do this because just why not? Why not? Why not have fun and then just face your real consequences when you have to? And, we'll worry about it then. I am raring to see where this goes, so I will check in after the next chapter or so. Hello everyone, I am back. It has been a while since I've recorded a vlog. It's been a bit of a hectic time right now. Lane's on a new schedule, the kids start school, and things are just kind of up in the air with me, and so I have not been able to just vlog as much as I would like to. So that slows down the whole progression of the book. It is not a reflection of how good the quality of the book is. The book is just fine. It is wonderful. I've just been busy, and this is a hobby of mine, so I'm not going to apologize for it. Taking some time to get through these books because this is just all about having fun. So where are we? I finished chapter 12, and there was a non-date. The amount of non-dates in this for it not being a fake relationship is pretty high. So. That's interesting. Rodrigo, he got super alpha. He had such an alpha moment there. Like I'm usually not too into alphas, but I felt like it was written well. It was written well, so I did not mind this so much. I thought it played in well too. What was going on? I thought Esme handled the situation perfectly too. I thought that was great. Props to you, Adriana Herrera. Very good, very good. But. They made up. Or at least for a little bit, because they, start some 4-alarm fires. Then it's a bucket of ice water to 4-alarm. It's back and forth so much. I mean, I don't know if these two should get together because they would wear themselves out too soon. I mean, they would die within a year from how much physical activity they would be doing. I'm just kidding. They should probably go do that if that's what they need to do. Life has chosen that for them, so they will go ahead and just go out that way. We are getting to the end of the book. I'm just going to try and power through and get through this one, so I will check in later. Good morning, everyone. I have finished chapter 14, and Esme and Rodrigo, they keep getting up to stuff. So I'd mentioned these half dates or these non-dates that keep happening, and more stuff on top of that keeps happening. But then like cold water, they each just keep pouring cold water on it, even though the fire keeps building up. It's just a big tug of war right now between themselves. But Rodrigo got dragged into essentially a tea time or coffee and pastries chat with Esme's family. So that's the 3 aunts and mom. So the scene was good. I'll leave it at that. I'll let you build your own preconceived notions, and you can figure out if they're true or not when you get to this book yourself. But it was fabulous. It was interrupted though because we've got some real trouble that's stirring now. Rodrigo's gonna try and handle it on his own. I wouldn't recommend this. I gave him advice to not follow that path, but he's a very headstrong individual, so we will have to see where everything lands when the dust settles. So I will check in maybe in a couple chapters because the book is coming to a close here. So we're going to round it out here soon. So maybe in a couple chapters, maybe in one. I'll just check in later. Hello, everyone. I have finished chapter 17. And I'd just like to ask why we can't just be at our happily ever after. We've weathered some storms, plenty of storms at this point. We can move past that part in our life, and we can just move on to the part that warms everyone's heart and makes everything better. That's all I'm really asking for here. That's not too much to ask for, I don't think. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Adriana Herrera, however, has decided that no, my heart and my feels need to be tortured just a few more times on the way to where we need to be. And I don't know how much more I can take, okay? It's getting to the point where I might just have to I don't know. I think I've taken that joke to its end, and it can only go to a dark place after that. Anyway, this book has so many ups and downs in it, and sometimes I don't like. A lot of the times I don't like that, but for Esme and Rodrigo, they can go up and down all the time. They can go hot and cold and do all directions, diagonal, forwards, backwards. I'll watch it all day long. It is so fun because, oh my gosh, how sweet it is when these two make up. So we've got 2 chapters left, and I imagine there's going to be some nice making up. And I think that, I mean, these two, they're going to be at it their whole lives, even after they finally agree that they need to be together. But I think they've weathered enough storms that they can get to that point here soon. So I will check in at the end of the book. We're almost there, and I've enjoyed it so much so far, and I know you have and will when you read this one. So I will see you at the end of the book. Hello, everyone. I have finished 1 Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera. This book was fabulous. This couldn't have been a better introduction to the Desire line. So, Adriana Herrera, thank you so much for this perfect introduction, for this perfect book. The way these two came together in the end was fabulous. I thought it was just perfect. I can't tell you about it because you're just going to have to figure out for yourself. But this is a wonderful start for a series, too. There are so many possibilities of where Adriana Herrera could take this next, who they could go with next. It's so open, and I cannot wait to read more by her. Again, thank you, Adriana Herrera. Thank you, Harlequin Books. Thank you, Knowles and Boone. Thank you, everyone on Twitter who follows. I hope you pick up this book, and if you do, please tweet at me about your feelings about the book, or any of the books on my category journey, or any of the non-books. She tweeted a Jacqueline Thomas book at me, Family for the Firefighter, and I read it really quick, and it was amazing. So yeah, if anyone wants to tweet books at me, I'll try and get to them, and we can totally talk about them and everything. Sorry, not to detract from 1 Week to Claim It All, I try and keep these vlogs contained to the book that they are about. Please check out Adriana Herrera. It was an amazing read. It was great to see a real mix of Latinx culture. So that was a big thing in this book that I really appreciated, and something someone outside of that culture doesn't even really think of all the smaller cultures inside, the Latinx community. It's not just one group, as many things are in life. Nothing's that simple. Nothing's broad brushes. So I have enjoyed this experience so much. I'm continuing to enjoy it. There's going to be announcements coming for the next My Category Journey book, and thank you very much to everyone, and I will see you in the next video.